I decided that I'm going to stop eating fruit. So let me back up. A few months ago, probably about 6 months ago, I read a book called Fit for Life. And one of the main concepts in this book basically talks about how it's good to eat fruit first thing in the morning on an empty stomach for as long as you can. Eat fruit till noon, and the reason why is because your body goes through a cleansing process every morning, and fruit is designed to cleanse the human body. That's one of its main purposes. So it's good to eat fruit early in the morning on an empty stomach. So I started doing that, and I felt better than I've felt since I can remember. So it really worked. Probably about 3 weeks ago, I started feeling not so good, getting stomach aches all the time, tired, fatigued, low blood sugar when I'm running, just overall just not feeling good. So I did some research and came to the conclusion that it's possibly because of the fruit, and maybe the sugars in the fruit, and maybe the fact that I'm running off fructose and glycogen all the time is maybe the reason. So I'm going to stop eating fruit and see if that helps. Along with not eating fruit, I decided that I was going to start doing time restricted eating at the same time, either a 18 hour or a 20 hour. So if you know anything about time restricted eating, basically that means that the shorter amount of time, which would be either the 6 or the 4 window that I have to actually eat. But the reason why I wanted to do the fasting is because for the most part I was eating just fruit, and fruit just digests so quickly. The next step would be fasting. So I'm like, instead of eating like a normal breakfast of like eggs and bacon and this and that, I'm just gonna fast, and then I'll eat my normal meals like I do at the normal times throughout the day after the morning time that I would usually be eating fruit. It started off okay. To be expected that it would be a little bit difficult and it wouldn't go perfectly, and then I'd be hungry and tired. But then it got to the point to where I just felt completely like shit, nonstop, tired, hungry, fatigued. All I wanted to do was sleep and eat. It got to the point about 10 to 12 days in to where I could not stop myself from eating. There was cake at work. I would eat cupcakes. I would go home and eat sugary cereal. I just could not stop myself from eating. And along with that, my eyes were freaking burning, dude. Like the whole time my eyes were burning, my eyes were watering. I could barely keep my eyes open. I was tired all the time. I completely just felt like shit after 2 weeks of this. I think it was like the second or third night to where I just stuffed my face with sugary shit for like all day. I decided that I'm going to try to go back to fruit, because thinking back to the time before I started not feeling good, I felt great. So I decided I'm gonna go back to eating fruit in the mornings like I was before, and I'll give it a week or so, and if I'm still not feeling good, then I'll reevaluate and do some more research, or call a nutritionist, or go to the doctor, or do something a little bit more legitimate than me just watching YouTube videos. I did this, and within 36 hours, I felt phenomenal. I had loads of energy. I felt hydrated. I felt satisfied. I wasn't hungry. I felt amazing all over again. At this point, I realized that before I started doing this fruit in the morning till noon, or whatever you want to call it thing, I felt bad all the time, and I just got used to it. And then I went back to it and realized how bad I really felt. Everybody's different. Some things work for some people, others don't work. Fasting and not eating fruit doesn't work for me, and I know that. And eating fruit every morning does work for me. Living my life eating mainly high water content foods and fresh fruits works for me. The things that I was researching and seeing people say were that the sugars in the fruits are good for you. You're relying on fructose, you're relying on glycogen, and you want metabolic flexibility, because the human body is not designed to have an abundance of food all the time. It's designed for scarcity and having a short window to where you have a lot of food, and then you don't have food until you find food again. So you want metabolic flexibility because that's what the human body is designed for. But I feel like the human body can adapt to whatever you give it. So you have an abundance of food. I feel like the body adapts to that abundance of food. If you have a scarcity of food, I feel like the human body will adapt to having a scarcity of food or not much food. So my new philosophy is, if it ever comes to the point to where I can't get food whenever I want, I will adapt at that point. I'm not going to adapt my body and build up this metabolic flexibility because there may be some day to where I can't get food. So first of all, I just want to say thank you if you got all the way through this video up to this point. I do appreciate it, and I hope that you got something from it. That is one of the main reasons why I do this, is to help other people out and share the advice that I've learned throughout my life and throughout my journey of health and fitness and nutrition. So I hope that you got something out of it. With that being said, I also wanted to stress the fact that I am not a professional. I am not a nutritionist. I do not have credentials in this stuff. I did not go to school for this. So please don't take my advice too seriously. This stuff worked for me and it may work for you. Feel free to try out whatever you want. And if this sort of thing is something you like, please consider subscribing, because I'm gonna make a lot more videos similar to this one, and hopefully the goal is for them to be better every time I post a video. I want them to be better than the last video. So please consider subscribing if this is something that you're interested in. So thank you.